Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I just pressed a button. Somebody tell, all right. I just pressed a microphone button. Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you for answering me. All right, I'm going to start this all over again because what I had to say was very important. And I really don't like repeating myself. It just pisses me off. It just reminds me of when I argue with my mother. Today's subject is our rights to free speech and what happened to Mike Lindell, the famous inventor of the My Pillow. And these are not my pillows. If I could afford them, I would get them. I would definitely support him. And I suggest all you guys do the same. If you're freedom-loving Americans, he was deplatformed totally for the rest of his life from Twitter. And just like Twitter banned Donald Trump, I don't know if he's just banned for a week after the stolen presidency or what. But if this can happen to them, it can happen to any of us. But if you're a Democrat, it probably won't happen to you. It's funny that these deplatforming only happens to the conservative-leaning voices. And it's really so terribly disconcerting that this is happening. And I've been fighting with my mother over politics. The thing is that one of the companies that's complicit in this is also Comcast. My family has not had cable television service since early March. But one of the things that we do have access to, you could use the speaking remote, and you can get certain news videos on demand. They are all news videos from on YouTube from the major mainstream media outlets, namely MSNBC, CNN, CNBC. Very few of them are Fox News Channel, and for what I understand, Fox News Channel is not as right-wing as it used to be. So what happens is the people that want information such as about the election, or about COVID, whatever, you get what Comcast chooses for you. And they're almost all left-leaning sites. So people like my mother, who is a college-educated, very bright woman who is a couple months shy of her 80th birthday. Matter of fact, next month she turns 80. But she is such a Democrat. When I tell her about the stolen election, she says that actually Trump lied. When I tell her about how wrong it was that My Pillow guy was taken off of Twitter, my mother said, well, Twitter is a private company. And I said to her, how can it be considered a private company when it is basically the only company of its kind? Whenever there is some kind of a competitor to Twitter service, they end up buying it out. Just like, okay, YouTube. I understand that there are other services that similar to this besides YouTube. However, Google bought out YouTube, 6-7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. When they did that, and Google is, I believe, the world's largest search engine. So if you take the world's largest search engine, that company, and it buys out a big video service such as YouTube, then that is why we don't have the free speech that we used to have back in the days when YouTube's slogan was broadcast yourself. When basically YouTube was such an open playing field that anybody with a webcam could talk whatever he wanted to say out of his living room or bedroom or whatever, when there was an open playing field that anybody can express themselves. But now you really have to watch what you say politically. Apparently there's certain phrases you can't say, like stop the steal, or you can't say things about Dominion. They have been suing people there. Dominion is suing Rudy Giuliani. They're suing President Trump. They're suing other members of President Trump's legal panel. They are going after people, and all the big tech people that are censoring voices. And then when they do, people manage to come up with sites such as Parler that would be competitors to these sites. Then the vendors that are responsible for the servers, such as Amazon, have stopped doing business with Parler and basically stifling all competition. Now, what happened to our federal antitrust laws that we had that specifically were created so that one company cannot squelch competition, cannot stifle voices? Do you remember, any of you guys old enough to remember when the bells were broken up? See, my grandma was a Bell telephone operator back on AT&T, but that was seen to be held a monopoly on television telephone service in the United States. So the bells were broken up. I think you may still have local bells in certain places down south, whatever. But I remember when there was bells every place. But yeah, so if we have antitrust laws and we have laws against monopolies, and why is it big tech is allowed to have monopolies and they're allowed to basically stifle the speech, basically going up against our First Amendment? And what's up with our, it's almost as if our Constitution isn't worth a paper it's printed on. If you have a society, an American system where they are trying to pursue charges against Donald Trump. He is a private citizen now. He is not a in politics anymore. He's a private citizen, and they're trying to impeach him again. And they want to make sure that he cannot run for office anymore. And if they want to destroy the Republican Party, that's what they're going to do. And there all this talk of creating a third party, because those of us that are loyal to President Trump, we are not going away. All 74 million of us, 75 million of us, we are not going away. And the thing is, if we revolt, which is what you Democrats seem to want us to do, you're pushing us and you're goading us. And you're worried about, oh, if the white people get pissed off, if the Republicans get pissed off. Well, we are pissed off. And the thing is that we are not getting violent. We're not doing things like what Antifa's doing. You notice they're not happy now that they got what they wanted. You got your stupid Democrats in charge, and Antifa is still rioting and said, we don't want Trump, we don't want Biden. They want to just destroy the United States. Is that what you guys want? To allow, basically, Antifa is the violent wing, the militant wing of the Democrat Party. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm so keyed up over what they did to Mike Lindell. Such a patriot. I mean, the only thing that he and I wouldn't agree on is that he is anti-abortion and I'm pro-choice. So and so I would not support him on those right to life matters. But everything else, he's been such a staunch defender of President Trump. And if you haven't already, find out the story about Mike Lindell. He had some really rough times in his life. He actually developed an addiction to crack cocaine, and he beat it. And he was always a user. He was not a seller, by the way. And he kicked it. I tell you, ever since I learned the story about him, I don't diss crackheads the way I used to. I mean, he's proven that we're human beings, and we humans are fallible. None of us are perfect. But when a person has the desire to better themselves, anybody that kicks any kind of addiction or compulsion or something, the people that get clean and sober off the things. Heck, I quit drinking because I saw that it was harming my life. Anybody that's on a path to make themselves better than they were, that cares about somebody besides themselves, that loves people, loves the world, cares about making things better, making the world a better place. But they're going to go target Mike Lindell. And it's not only big tech that's doing it. Companies like Bed Bath & Beyond and Kohl's have decided not to carry his products anymore. I understand the home shopping networks, I don't know if it's QVC and HSN or maybe other ones, they're not selling his products anymore. I think it is so evil when people do these kind of boycotts to destroy someone's business, somebody's livelihood. You know, when you go do boycotts against certain people, you hurt not only that person, all the jobs that these people create. Thousands and thousands of jobs making a made in America product. And also, did you guys know that when we started needing to have more PPE, when we realized that we had a pandemic on our side, Mike Lindell's company, along with many other American factories, switched over to making face masks and PPE for our first responders, for our medical personnel, and for people that staff nursing homes. Yes, he could be just ramping production on his pillows and his comforters and all the other products that his company makes. And let me stress for you, I am not a spokesperson for him. I'm not an affiliate marketer or something. Maybe I should pursue that. And maybe I should become an affiliate thing and do that for my channel. God knows I could use the coin. But I don't want to be overly mercenary, even though, hey, I'm as struggling as anybody else. And also, I'm really mad at myself, incidentally, that one of the sites that I work from home is called Digital Reflections, and they have a set type box that sniffs my internet traffic, and they pay me in those $50 Visa gift cards, and I had one in my room, and don't you know, I took it out of the envelope, and I am tearing my room up and down trying to find this $50 card, because unfortunately, just like credit cards do, it has an expiration of like 6 months or something, and I would hate for it to go to waste. I'm just so mad at myself. I am tearing this place apart looking for it, and it makes me really, really mad. I wish I had, when I'd gotten it, I wish I had put it where other valuables of that nature was, but for whatever reason, I didn't. And anyway, that's not even has anything to do with this video, but I'm just really mad at myself. And anyway, but yeah, what are we going to do about the deplatforming of certain political voices that people don't like? And since when does big tech or any uh, government organization or private companies or anybody think that they have the right to stifle free speech? That is so un-American. And these companies that are trying to silence people, that is the height of what fascism is. That is what a fascist does. A fascist is so afraid of dissent. A fascist is so afraid of speech that they do not approve of, that they will silence the person doing the speech. They will use threats of violence. They will use anything method they can do for intimidation. They will do economic sanctions, such as boycotts, such as talking to your suppliers, anything that they can do to destroy people. The fact that that is being tolerated here in the United States right now in 2021 should be very concerning to you. This is like George Orwell all over again, except that this is not fiction. And this is why I'm talking about this tonight. I totally had different programming for you today. I was not going to do a live stream today. I was going to post another video that I had already done. I still have a bunch of editing to do for some footage that I shot last weekend, and I have really not gotten around to it, partly because housework and stuff, partly because of what I always discussed with you. But it's been really hard. So let me drink some of my tea. Tabby Boy's right here. It's a miracle when I smashed the clapboard thing, he didn't run out. You know, he doesn't like the sound of that. I'm so thirsty. I put cranberry sauce in my tea. I'm going to have to write to that company. I never had cranberry sauce that was watered down before. It doesn't have much flavor to it. So I think I ought to contact them. Sometimes when you contact companies, they send you free coupons and things. The cranberry juice is good in tea. I find when you put it in tea, you still have to put sugar in it if you sweeten it, but you don't have to put a lemon or lime in it because the tartness from the cranberry takes care of that. So, I want to see my tabby boy. And of course, I just want to show this sign. That's a Trump sign that I have not taken down yet. I still haven't decided what to do with some of my Trump stuff. Come here, baby. Oh, look what I got. Look at my. You see what I got? You see my tabby boy? Oh, he's like, you go disturbing me. I was trying to sleep and you were not asleep. You were not asleep. You so pretty. Oh, look at this face. I want you to see the face of my cat. Oh, you know, I love my baby. Look at this face. How could anybody not love kitty faces? You smell like pee, you know that? You smell like you were swimming in a litter box. Why do you smell like pee? I wish I could give you a bath. I wish I could, but I think you would kill me. Maybe Cassie would let me do it. I do not think you would. No. Mm-hmm. I love you. I love my daddy boy. Oh, don't pick my nose, daddy boy. Thank you. Now I've got a whole bunch of kitty hair on me. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to type something for the benefit of the people who are going to be watching this after this is just a video that you can look after later. So I need to let people know. And I find it very hard not to read aloud what it is that I'm typing. For those who do not understand what happened, there was no sound when I first went by. I was told this, so I found a button to press to turn on my microphone. Okay. There were some other things that I wanted to mention, but I think I'm going to wait for another live stream so that I can try to keep things onto one subject. I think that that might make it more interesting to the people, excuse me, who would be attracted to the subject matter. Something tells me that because this is such a on trend subject, this video might very well do pretty well. So I think I should respect the people who would tend to be attracted to the subject matter and try to keep it onto freedom loving kind of topics. Oh, and I had to wash this, but I just did. And I had to show it off because why not, right? So what? Are we all gonna be sued if we talk about the election was stolen? Is Dominion gonna come after all of us? If anybody from Dominion happens to be watching me, come and get me. Please sue me. You know, I've never been sued before, but I have sued people before. And let me tell you, litigation is a pain in the ass. And the whole idea of suing people, they have to have something you're going to get. Come and sue me, Dominion. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I've got some junk jewelry. Oh, I've got a Trump ring. You want to sue me for that? Yeah, you guys didn't see my Trump ring. I think I should show you. And on the side. And inside. Oh, yes. See what it says inside. Maybe I need to do it this way. Can you read what it says inside? I don't know how I could get you to see this. Anyway, it's supposed to say "Make America Great Again" inside. It's supposed to be stamped too, but for the life of me, I don't think it's real. But anyway, I got it. I had to have it. Yeah. Actually, I tried to find some George W. Bush memorabilia on Wish.com, but all they really had was basically probably reproductions of campaign shirts, and I already have campaign shirts of his. And they really are expensive on their shirts. They're considering that you have to pay shipping on everything. Almost everything by way of their shirts is more than I wanted to spend on them. So I was kind of disappointed in that. So, I wanted to show off my shoes, but I want to lift my leg up real carefully so as not to offend anybody or kick this off. That would really suck if I did. I don't think I can wear these long enough that I can walk around in casinos unless I knew that I would only be walking around for like an hour or so, because the pointy toes, that would make them not very walkable. And you sure can't walk on the boardwalk in shoes like this, because the stilettos would get stuck in the boards, and that would really not be good. I think I'm going to try to get a little bit comfortable here. Would you guys like to see Cassie? I can come and get her, or I can take you into the kitchen, and you can see her, because that's where she is. Come with me. All right. Oh, I see a Cassie girl. I see a Cassie girl. Yes, the Christmas tree's still up. There's my Cassie girl. Say hello, baby. Your baby kitty. Your kitty. Who's that pretty girl? Who's that pretty girl? Oh, pretty girl, my Cassie. My Cassie. Who's my baby? Who's my baby? Oh, my baby girl. My Cassie. I love my Cassie. Yes, I love my Cassie. I'm going to set this. Okay, I think this is safe. Setting this on the stove right now, which I know is not the smart place to set a computer. But, oh, meow. Oh, look, it's okay. It's okay. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, Tabby Boy was on the stove a couple of days ago. Obviously, there was nothing hot on the stove, but I can't believe that he would be that crazy. And Tabby Boy has been going a little cuckoo. If I leave the house for like 10 minutes to go grab a sandwich or a lunch up the street, I hear that Tabby Boy cries, and he has this kitty toy that we call the baby. It's made of different colored, like rainbow colored yarn. It's about the size of a big mouse. And sometimes he carries it in his mouth. My mother said that he was making this really weird, muffled crying sound. Had this thing in his mouth, and I'm not gone long. When I go up the street, if I'm gone 10 minutes, I don't, unless there's somebody friendly that I want to talk to about something. And I actually did talk to somebody that I would like to interview for my channel about First Amendment issues. There's a very interesting character that I talk to sometimes. I'm not even sure what his name is. He's, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but he's somebody who I don't know well, but he's an older guy who has been around. He's a Vietnam vet, but I'm not even sure which side he fought for. Maybe he may have even fought for the Viet Cong. I don't know, but he's really a trip. And he often runs afoul of the police for the way that he chooses to express his creativity. And he's pierced and he's tattooed. And He might not even agree with my politics, but he does care about freedom, and he does care about not wanting to be harassed. And if I can get him on this channel sometime, maybe do a Boardwalk interview or something, that's something that I have planned. I think that he would have a unique perspective on First Amendment rights and even issues such as police harassment and police brutality. And of course, the subject of sometimes when, maybe a lot of times, when police do things that might be a little untoward, the reason for them doing things is because maybe people started with the police. And we can discuss this. But, okay, show everybody your face. Let's see your pretty little face. Oh, come on. Hey. Oh, come on. It's okay. It's okay. Why are you so mad? Don't get my hair dirty. Come on. What? Ouch. She obviously doesn't want to be a part of my video. She wants to be grouchy. Look at this grouchy girl. Look at this grouchy girl. Hey. Hello, Grouch. Hello, Grouch. Yes. Hey. Oh. Oh. I'm going to show. I have a better copy of the Liberty Bell that I actually got when I was like 4 years old. The first time my family took me to see the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. Where else? And I think it's in my storage in Los Angeles. Belly Button King. Oh, I think I know who that is. All right. This is for you. See, I've got a dangly star. Leather Rokk keeps her promises. And, oh, I wanted to show that I still have my thing up there. And I'm going to turn the light off here. And I got to take these things down. They're really, and I have a feeling that within the week they're going to go. You were in the city just recently. Oh, only go there unless you have to. Hate it there. Okay, I'm going to try to pronounce your name Beckeim Assad Muhammad. I don't want to butcher your name, sir. When you say that you were in the city just recently, which city are you talking about? You know what city I miss is Los Angeles, and I also miss Washington, D.C. I miss them terribly. And of course, with this COVID-19, it's making travel so dangerous. And the weather right now is really not very conducive. It's right now we've got what looks like freezing rain, drizzle, and yet there's plenty of drug dealers that are hanging out underneath my bedroom window. And these are my tomato plants. And those of you asking or who want to ask about the other, Atlantic City. Yeah. I have not been to Brigantine in years. My goodness, the last time I was in Brigantine, I used to see battles of the bands at a bar called the Circle Bar. And this was, as a matter of fact, after I quit drinking. I was just there to listen to the music. And I mean, how long has that been closed? I think that's probably been closed over 10 years. That just goes to show you how long it's been. Sometimes, like, I go to the marina casinos, which is the closest that I would get to Brigantine. And one time I was supposed to take the bus to Best Buy, and for some stupid reason, I ended up getting on the bus to the marina casinos, and I had to wait. New Jersey Transit buses there only run on the hour, and I had to stand in the cold waiting for that bus, and it was really not very much fun. But I'll tell you, got some really beautiful, beautiful views of Brigantine Beach from some of the marina hotel rooms. They just have beautiful views, or even like you can get, if you're looking from Harrah's, you can get, depending on which way your view, your window is in your hotel room, you get really beautiful views of Brigantine, and you get to. I love watching that bridge that goes to Brigantine from our marina. It just, I just think it's quite striking. Yeah, this I have such a love-hate relationship with Atlantic City. Uh, I just, I was born here, and I've seen so much bad things of it. And beach walking is quite nice, especially in the off season, especially when it's cold. I love walking on the beach at night. I can't deal with the sunlight. And even in the wintertime, I like walking on beaches. Wintertime, I guess I could walk on the daytime. Of course, I have to put plastic bags around my shoes because once sand gets in shoes, it's very hard to get them out unless you're wearing something like Crocs or flip flops. And I guess in the wintertime, that might not be so practical. I've worn snow boots on the beach so as to not get sand in them. Uh, but as far as I would walk on the beach at night, except here in Atlantic City, you have to worry about the sand dunes in most parts of the city make it so that you cannot see the beach from the boardwalk. So if somebody was a criminal and they wanted to hurt somebody that was on the beach, they could do that. Women have gotten raped and dragged underneath the boardwalk, and nobody saw on the boardwalk because the sand dunes keep you hidden. And I watched a homeless friend of mine get punched out by two guys. We were hanging out next to sand dunes, and some guys were making fun of me. And when my friend tried to defend me, they punched him. And because the sand dunes prevented people from the boardwalk seeing us, even if there's police on the boardwalk, all kinds of crime can happen on the beach and nobody would help you. And since I have to think of my safety, I won't go on the beach after dark, with certain exceptions. Like if I have friends with me, or if I know that I could get back to the boardwalk safely. And I don't know as many people, locals, that I can really, really trust. When I was younger, I knew more people, but so many people have moved away. And with the economic downturn when COVID hit, and so many businesses have not been able to open up again. And our governor, Murphy, I know he's trying to think of the safety of the public, and that's obviously very important, but you got to think about people's economic benefit also. And so many people are not eligible for those stimulus checks that need it the most. I can't get a stimulus check. It's almost as if I didn't exist just because I didn't file a tax return recently, and I haven't been eligible. I haven't had any reason to. You only have to file tax forms if you have to make like $3,000 to file, and that's if you have something that you're going to get a refund. If you don't have anything coming to you, you have no reason to file. I had one check for a Halle Berry movie that I worked on, and the check is expired. But fortunately, Cenex Central Casting wrote it in the wrong name, so I can get it reissued, but then I have no way of cashing it because my ID situation. And I don't know whether the DMV is even open because of COVID. Some places are closed, and it's just, and plus I don't know if I have enough paperwork to get it. That's the whole thing. And then plus there's the whole thing of the hair thing. But you know what? I go with my hair like this because at least it's got the purple on it. So, but just be aware that I was not even going to be going live tonight. I was going to put one of my videos that I have in the can. I have the video that I filmed in Resort's hotel room, and I think there's two other makeup videos that might be in this computer. Yeah. And then I have a flash drive of the data from my Chromebook. The Chromebook is totally uh, crashed, and I really need to set up an appointment and go to Best Buy. Now, unfortunately, this is what, the 26th of January, and I think my my warranty for this computer that I'm filming from, which is my Lenovo, the warranty expires like in 2 days. So, but that said, I have this total tech support package from Best Buy that I get tech advice and tech support and different things. But I really don't like taking the bus all the way out there because the bus fare situation. And I certainly cannot leave anything there. I can't leave this because if I do, then I won't have anything to film with. And I cannot be without something to provide content. And that cell phone that I had, I misplaced it somewhere in my room. I have no idea where it is. So I can't play around with that. I just can't find it. My room is kind of small and I have a lot of stuff. And even though I'm cleaning all the time, once things go get in something or however I lose things, it's a real issue. I try so I'm literally working every day. And some days I'm lucky if I get 2 hours. A couple of days ago I had something crazy happen. That talk about my crazy neighborhood and stuff. Saturday night I went to bed very late because after I was working on YouTube stuff and whatever, I went to bed very late. I don't think I maybe was asleep not even an hour when I was waken up by my doorbell. And there is here this homeless lady in slippers, this homeless white chick. And the reason why I'm going to say colors is everybody else says colors. And since, uh, so anyway, she is in the slippers and a robe, and it's really cold outside. And she was asking me if I could open up the locked gate to that terrible alleyway that leads to the drug dealers and all the bad people next door and stuff. Apparently, one of the drug dealer neighbors that the church and the agencies they move all these people in next door to try to rehabilitate them. And meanwhile, all the people do is sell drugs and have all kinds of people coming in, and they pay to make copies of this key. So every dirtball and gangster in town has copies of this key. Except us, we don't have any reason to go. What do I want to go in that alleyway for? So anyway, this lady was cold, and she told me that she needed to get in there because one of those people ripped her off, and I didn't find out what it is that they stole. Well, I gave them the phone number of this pastor who might be able to get it from those people. And plus, I'm sure he'd be pissed off to know that they are basically taking advantage of poor little old homeless people. And then she asked me if I could make a pot of coffee. And even though I just wanted to go to bed, I decided that I would because I mean, I know what it's like to be cold and I know what it's like to be homeless. Fortunately, not on the East Coast. And I felt really bad for her. So I made this coffee. But then I was also thinking, you know what? Why don't I just say I will and just go lay down and go back to sleep? And that's what I felt like doing. But I realized that that would have been a real asshole move for me to do. So I made a coffee, but damned if she never came back. And then a couple hours later, the church started with their racket and she just disappeared. And I'm thinking, I had to give her information so that she could get her property back. I know what it's like to be ripped off, and you want to do the right thing. You want to be a compassionate person. And meanwhile, she didn't show up again. And so I don't know how else to help people. But anyway, these people ringing our doorbell, and it's not, we have no control over what the neighbors do. If I can't yell at it, if I can't call the cops on it, if I can't make friends with it, there is nothing I can do about it. I'm only one person, and I'm trying to really keep a low profile. Uh, I don't want people around here knowing that I make YouTube videos because I don't necessarily know who I can trust. You know, there's so many, whenever I put these things out, I don't know who's watching. Sometimes when I find out that there's some bad people that have subscribed or something that are indeed enemies of mine, I block them and I report them if they're trying to harass me or something. But still, you don't know once something's out there, you can't assume that everybody watching is your friend. So you have to be careful what you say, and you have to be careful as much as possible. And I try to control who around here knows my name, and I try to control who around here knows anything that what I do. And but you never know. And I'm not looking for trouble. I'm just trying to be as safe as possible, and I reserve the right to enjoy my First Amendment freedoms and to speak my truth and use this platform for as long as I have this platform. I feel duty bound to be as honest as I feel is safe to be. If I can give information to help somebody make better choices, that's what I feel I need to do. I'm just treating the people that watch my videos the way I would treat a friend. I care about people, and I care about people being safe. And I think that the only way for people to be able to make the smartest choices is to have the most accurate information. And so I will do that, but I will also give my opinion. And even if some of the things that I have to say are not what people want to hear, there are going to be things that I'm going to say that will piss people off. And there are opinions that I will offer that not everybody's going to like. There are things I will tell you about myself that not everybody's going to like, that not everybody's going to understand it. I can't control that. I mean, I really actually been quite close-lipped about my life and so much about me, even though it probably seems like I'm being very open. I'm navigating this as carefully as I can. I wish I could feel as comfortable as some people that just their lives are total open books and they talk about a lot of. I'm not there yet. But then again, the fact that I can talk about political things and talk about makeup and talk about fashion and talk about travel and so many things and not have too fragmented an audience, it's just, I don't know how to niche myself down. I don't want to be exclusively political because I know how divisive that is, and I know that only between a third and one half of you will like it. But in the same token, there's more to life than fashion and makeup tutorials and things. And with so many people unemployed and having economic problems because of COVID and stuff, I really don't want to seem like I'm advocating for conspicuous consumerism and excess uh, decadent buying really expensive things. And since I can't afford those real expensive things, it would not make sense for me to promote that I am not actively living. I'm not this jet setter going off to fancy islands every other weekend doing whatever. Anyhow, I don't even like to fly. So even if I had that kind of money, that's probably not what I would be doing. But I am glad that I have this platform and this ability to reach lots of people, friends, making friends on this platform, sharing my life and experiences and knowledge with people. And I'm definitely learning things from the people who engage with me either in the chat rooms of these live streams or talk to me in the comments. And I really encourage participation of people, especially if some of you can tell me things that I need to know. Now, one of the things that I really am trying to do actively, I'm trying to make sure that my mother, who is going to be 80 years old next month, I want to make sure that she can get her COVID-19 vaccine. And I want to get it also. And one of the things I'm finding out now that the vials that have the vaccine are supposed to have enough for 6 doses. And most doctors don't use the right kind of needle, so it only gets 5 doses out. So a dose is being wasted. Furthermore, because so many medical personnel are trying to make sure that only the groups that are supposed to get it first, such as the frontline workers, such as the medical personnel, and people that work in nursing homes, and the nursing home people and the old people and stuff. And then they're saying, okay, people that work in grocery stores because they're dealing with the public, they need to get it first. So meanwhile, all these medical people who are administering the vaccine, if they even have enough, they are waiting around for the people in the first groups to get it. And if they don't find enough of those people, they are letting this vaccine go to waste. Once it gets uh, uh, out of the deep refrigeration, it's only good for a brief amount of time. And so much of this vaccine is being wasted. And by the way, all this stuff, Donald J. Trump, when he was still our president, he had the pipeline already set up for the administration of the vaccine. I believe our military had something to do with helping to make sure the infrastructure was set up so that people could get the vaccine. Now, for some reason, there is not enough of this vaccine being produced, and I'm sure so much of it is due to the waste. There have been uh, documented cases of a few medical personnel that have deliberately wasted vaccine. And every time something like that happens, there are people, they're not getting it, and people are dying every day. State of California, what are they having? A couple thousand people dying every day of this? This COVID is no joke. And I'm sorry for those of you who are so against the vaccine that you think it's worth. If I could get it tomorrow, I would get it. And yes, I've heard of certain the side effects that some people get. I am tired of living uh, like a shut in, being afraid of people. And then what ends up happening is when I wear my N95 mask, then when I see a friend, then I get too close to them and I forget that I should be backing away. And I ordered a stack of purple N95 masks from Wish.com over a month and a half ago, and I still haven't gotten them. So, and now they're saying that people should double mask because they're finally admitting that the regular masks that most people that are wearing that do not have the filters and the protection of N95s, most people's masks are not any good. So they're saying double mask. And I'm seeing more and more articles recommending all the different kinds of masks that you can use. And the fact that most of them aren't any good, and that's what most people are using, are the kind that don't do any good. I noticed whenever there are signs telling people to wear masks to go into stores and things, they never say exactly what kind. And I still see people wearing those clear shields and nothing else underneath it. And they have said that they do not work at all because they're totally open underneath, and airflows with particulate matter, including the virus, can just go up in and be inhaled. And then when you exhale, of course, everything goes right there and out into the public. You can't wear. Some places do say that they prohibit the masks with the valves on them since they allow absolutely no filtration when you exhale. And so if you had the virus, you would, as you breathe out, it would go right to people. So, and I see so many times, even in casinos, people walking around with their noses sticking out of masks, and I have yet to see security guard chase them down. I do think that people are getting a little bit tired of these lockdowns, and certainly what I see out my window with the drug dealers. There used to be the drug dealers, half of them were wearing masks, and now I'm not seeing any kind of protection at all. Or if they do wear masks, they're just using them as chin straps. So I'm not seeing people taking this seriously. Some people are. Some of the social service agencies, I've noticed that with some of the things they were distributing, when they finally realized that people were getting all close, like I call it assholes to elbows, they finally decided to distribute where they could supervise to make sure that people observe the social distancing protocols. That was very comforting to see. Now, if only they could do something about some of the food banks that say a person has too much to transport in one trip, so they leave a box while they wheel down their stuff to their house and come back only to find a whole bunch of people going through their stuff because there is no respect. They really need more people monitoring what people do so that people don't take advantage of other people. But the thing is, everybody is short staffed now. And there used to be an organization called Volunteers of America that used to oversee some of the food distribution things to make sure that people did the social distancing. But I think they're doing something else now. I did hear that they got a grant to do something to combat some of the human trafficking. And that is obviously a very admirable thing. It's sick that that's still going on here with the COVID and stuff. But no, it's really interesting. We've got a pandemic on our hands. Dementia Joe obviously knows that that's going on. And you think he would do something to stop these caravans that are coming up from Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, wherever? These people, how much personal protective equipment do you think they're wearing? So we're going to just open up our southern border to these illegals because we're not going to deport anybody the first 100 days of Dementia Joe's presidency. and just let these people in that we can't vet, bring their diseases in, make sure we get a bunch of MS-13 gang members, and we want our typhoid, we want our diphtheria, we want our COVID-19, maybe even the new strains that are from South Africa and Ireland and stuff. And of course, the people that are going to be in this caravan are going to be including people from the Middle East and from China, because people are finding out that the best way to get to the United States, if you're an illegal, and maybe if you want to do some violence or something, is to go by way of our southern border. Now that we got Joe Biden in, he's already decided that he is going to give health benefits to illegal aliens. He's going to make sure that they can qualify for food stamps and welfare, assisted rental. While we have homeless Americans, we have homeless veterans on the streets, people that have earned medals for serving our country, and they're sleeping on sidewalks in any city near you, maybe in the storefront that these businesses that can't open because of COVID, but you got some poor guy on open cardboard in newspaper in a sleeping bag in the doorway. But yeah, we're going to take care of these illegal aliens. And then now that dear Joe Biden has decided to start overturning all of President Trump's things, he's going to make sure that we're going to allow in all the people from what happened to America first. Thank you. Now, I love the idea of America. I really do. I love the idea that there are people, so many people, and I know people of all walks of life, so many different nationalities, people from all over the world, who they came here, their families came here the right way. And it's a slap in the face to people who spent lots of money, paid lots of taxes, got on a waiting list, learned the great story of our founding. Hi, Kimberly Adams. How you doing? The people that were patient, that went about it the right way. And when they see people skipping ahead of the line, getting everything that they weren't able to do, it's a slap in the face to them. Thank you. You see, I got the beats back in, but I have to take this out next. I am alive, and I'm happy that I haven't gotten kicked off of YouTube. What happened to Mike Lindell can happen to any of us, and I'm just glad that I today still have my First Amendment, and I can talk to people. I could talk about what scares me about life, what gives me joy. I get to talk about this country that I am so glad that I live in, that I was born in, that my family has been here since the 1600s. So I'm a colonialist. I'm not from immigrant. So not that it means that I think I'm better than anybody else. I never want to give that impression. That said, I do believe in the exceptionalism of the USA. And I mean, why else do people want to come here from all over? But if you're going to have people that have not been vetted, we don't know how healthy they are, we do not know what their intentions are. We have people that maybe they're angry because they know who some of the people are that live here, and they have been sent over. Say that somebody came over, their family 4 generations ago, and some distant relatives from the old country are very angry at them because they had the nerve to leave their country and they came over here. They sneak over through our southern border or however else they get here, only to find this relative that they're really angry at because they just their family by moving to the USA, and then commit acts of violence on them. We have to know who's coming here. Name me some other countries that just ignore who's coming over. Come on. Any other country has sovereignty and they respect their borders. Any other country, they know who the hell's there. They don't criticize these countries for wanting to know who's gaining access to their countries. And yet, because we in the United States, some of us are concerned about wanting to know who the hell is here, and especially with a public health crisis like COVID, we want to know. And yet, we're the big bad imperialist USA because we want to know who's trying to come in our country. I don't understand this. I don't understand how things got so ass backwards. I'm saying this because this is the country that I love. This is the only country that I've ever lived in. And it is scary. And I have not always been a Republican, okay? I have only been when 9/11 happened and I moved back here when I couldn't afford to keep a roof over my head in Hollywood. And that's when I got exposed to alternative political viewpoints and Fox News Channel. And I'd already been a fan of Rush Limbaugh, but I got to listen to him a lot more on the East Coast since I had access to radio and stuff. But what's going on now is so scary. Yes, that's right. People come here because they wanted a better life and they like the freedoms we have and they love that they can just be. And so, but if they just bring all their same customs and their same political ideologies, which if they took the civics in order to become lawful American citizens, then they would know what makes our country great. But if they just want things the same as how they left, then why bother leaving in the first place? Then you're just going to reform our country into another third world shithole. And I know that's a harsh way to call it, but I'm not going to waste your time by being politically correct. I feel I need to tell the truth. I have to. I have to speak my mind. I have to say these things that I'm deeply worried about. And if you love our country and you love our freedoms, I think you should be concerned too. And one of the things that's really been bothering me is that I keep on arguing with my mother that she is so brainwashed by the mainstream media that she doesn't seem to be bothered when somebody like the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, can be totally kicked off of Twitter. And I told her that it's so wrong for him to be a victim like that. And she said that because Twitter is a public company, and I tried to explain to her that Twitter is a monopoly now. Name me one site that is exactly like Twitter that hasn't been, isn't either a ghost land or hasn't been bought out by big tech. There is no alternative. If you get deplatformed from there, how can you reach that many millions and millions and millions of people? And please explain something else to me. How come great world leaders like the leader of communist China is still on Twitter? How come other foreign leaders of countries that are much, much, much less free than us are allowed on Twitter? I believe Vladimir Putin has a presence on Twitter. All kinds of very subversive organizations are on Twitter, haven't been kicked off it. People make all kinds of death threats against Trump and Republicans and get away with that on Twitter all the time. They are rarely, if ever, taken off. And yet Twitter thinks they can take President Trump off and takes the My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell, off. If this can happen to Mike Lindell, this can happen to Donald J. Trump, it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Take this seriously. I really wish people would. Now, I am not on Twitter. You could even say that I don't have a dog in the hunt. Excuse me, I'm a citizen of a free country. Now, I never tried to join Twitter because I was always afraid of it because I know that I have a big mouth and I know that I would say something. I'm the kind of person that I get emotional and I get angry and I can have a mouth on me and I can be insulting and I can say some pretty nasty things. And I can feel justified, especially if I'm merely emotionally or physically abused by somebody, then I will say things even pertaining to their ancestry and different things, because if they've done me wrong that bad, I can be nasty. And the thing is, apparently now those kind of insults are considered so egregious, almost like that's the worst sin in the world. I think the worst sins are things like torture and killing, not name calling, not even things like racism. And racism is not a nice thing. And I don't want you to think I think it's okay. But that said, it's not the worst thing in the world. killing and torturing people and animals, that's a lot worse than words. If I want to name, I'll say I invent a word. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but say that's a word. Say that's a real word, and say that means, imagine the most offensive concept you can think of. Say that's a word that's considered to be forbidden. Say that's a word that if some people hear it, they think it's directed toward them and they want to get violent against you. Now, do we forbid that word? Do we say that, oh, some people could say that word, but other people can't? Come on, it's a word. It's a word that very well may have been invented by somebody. Words tend to have origins. Either they come under an etymological evolution, or they can be totally made up at random. Some people may make up a word and change. You know how people can make up any kind of names? My name, I made up, okay? The spelling, everything, I totally invented it. Then I went to court, spent $1,000. That is how the name Leather Rokk came, okay? So if anybody can name a name, that's right. Everybody wants to be a victim of something. And it seems to be with this cancel culture that we have, that people get brownie points they give to each other for how many ways that you can consider yourself to be a victim. Like, okay, I could start. Oh, I'm a female. I'm a cisgender female. Cisgender, if you guys don't know, means you look like what you are. So I'm a female, therefore I'm a victim. Oh my goodness, men are trying to keep me down. And the reason why I'm such a failure, I'm not a success in life, is because the men in my life, the men in the world, are keeping me down. Oh man, oh, it sucks to be a female. That's a crock of bullshit. Oh, I'm white. I have white privilege. Oh my goodness. Ooh, but that's not cool now. Oh, you gotta keep me down, man. That is so ridiculous. People are looking for means and excuses to be offended. People are looking for excuses as to why they have not achieved whatever. Instead of looking in the mirror and thinking, oh, gee, maybe I haven't achieved success in my life because I have not worked hard enough. Maybe I was too busy with drugs and alcohol. Maybe I was too busy being lazy, but nobody wants to accept personal responsibility. But no, it's easy to say, oh, I'm a victim. I've been kept down because of racism, sexism, xenophobia, whatever. Now, maybe I can, I know, I'm a Republican. And it's open season on Republicans. I'm a victim, man. Oh, I'm a victim. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm being discriminated against because I have belly piercings, and people with belly rings, they're loose and they're stupid, and I must be stupid. My goodness, I have piercings. I have holes in my body that God didn't give me. Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm a victim. I think I'm going to open the window and jump out the window because I'm a victim, because I'm a white girl and I'm living in the ghetto and I'm really miserable here, but I can't afford to get out, and I'm a victim. We're all victims. Let's just wallow in our victimhood. Well, as long as I have this platform, that's right. And and as far as there are people that want to, instead of going for the people that are the most qualified for jobs, they want to make sure that they get a quota of every group, every skin color, every religion, every philosophy, and never mind who's qualified for the job. And what if the people that end up having are not qualified enough, but you got the United Nations. Okay, I'm going to open up a new hospital, and I want to make sure that my staff, I'm going to hire the United effing Nations. I'm going to have people from Rhodesia. I'm going to have people from Zimbabwe. I'm going to have people from Iran. I'm going to have people from all over. But might have a little problem here. What if not everybody was straight A's? What if not everybody was the best in the in their medical skills? What if the phlebotomists weren't all the best at drawing blood? What if the cardiologists weren't that great? What if the surgeons weren't that great? What if you are going to be getting patient care there and you get substandard care because they did not hire who was best for the job? And then what? It's because they were too busy hiring on racial and ethnic quotas instead of who is the most qualified. And you see this all the time with affirmative action. I know I mentioned this in other videos where my father, when he was trying to, my father, first of all, I'm not going to say that he was a less than intelligent man because he wasn't, but he dropped out of school in 8th grade to support his family. He didn't get a real education. And he was also a bit dyslexic, even though they didn't have a word for it at the time. So my father had a bit of a hard time studying for the civil service test when I was a kid. He was getting passed over. They were hiring, and then when they finally did get him work, they were having this affirmative action going on where they were hiring less qualified black people and not hiring better qualified white people. And my father was getting discriminated against in the 60s, okay? So you don't talk to me about white privilege because of the affirmative action that impacted my growing up and the ability of my father to put food on our dinner table. So, incidentally, when my mother finally decided that she felt like working outside the home, which wasn't until I was in high school, uh, but then trying to think of when it was that she started working for Trump Taj Mahal. So, yes, it was Donald J. Trump who, for literally him or his company, for 16 years, put a roof over my parents and myself whenever I would come here for Christmas vacation and stuff. So he did create lots and lots of jobs and directly benefited us. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit prejudiced in favor of President Trump. And I am definitely prejudiced in favor of this country. I love my country. I am so glad that I was born here. I was so glad to be raised by a mom and dad who also loved our country, who were very patriotic. They were both grown up on farms, and my father was a veteran. We have veterans on both sides of the family. Both my grandparents, all my grandparents, as far as I know, were veterans. My grandpa, the man that I know as grandpa, he fought in the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. You know, the greatest generation. My father was a Korea War vet. My father's only brother who he was predeceased by, was, I'm sure he was a vet. I don't know the details. I'm sure, I guess it had to be Korea also. Maybe it was Vietnam. I don't know. He was older than my father, so maybe it was Vietnam. But yeah, so military service is something that's respected in my family, and a basic civics education was expected and was something that we were immersed by growing up. And it was, my mother was also very liberated, even though she chose to be a stay-at-home mother when I was a baby. But that was just because she wanted to know that I was being supervised by her, and my father really wanted to be a dad. He really wanted to be the breadwinner. And since my father did not have a good home life, he wanted to make sure that there was a family. He wanted to be a part of a family. And that's what I knew my parents did to till death do us part thing. So even though I did have a phase where I had a bad attitude, where, because I was a Democrat in the beginning, when I was old enough to, and I went off to California, and I was a libtard. Many people are when they're young, but the events of 9/11 happened, plus being smacked around by life, and I've always been a fiscal conservative anyway, and I've always been a hawk when it comes to things like national security. I've always been very, very, very security minded. And uh, of course, 9/11 really, really cemented that with the terrorism. And because 9/11, I think for most of us, made us realize that an ocean will not protect you when you have people that decided they are your enemies. And that was maybe the scariest thing about 9/11, is that it took away my complacency and my innocence in that regard. And I never felt unsafe here in America, aside from just the fear of maybe victims, being a victim of crime, just vulnerabilities, being a woman. And that is something that I am conscious of, being that I'm not 6 feet tall and I don't weigh 200 pounds, or I don't even weigh 120. I am, and I don't care to put on the weight, even if that would make me physically stronger, because I would rather be. But that said, 9/11 took away my sense of security, and once I change parties, I cannot see going back. I just can't. You know what? I need a cat. I gotta get a cat. And I will put this back on. Alright, got to find a cat. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Gotta find a kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh. Look who's on there. Oh. Oh, you're not supposed to be on. My mother thinks she's allergic to kitties, and she likes to sit on that cushion. And Tabby Boy's sitting on the cushion, and she doesn't want to get the gummy munchies. Oh, look. Oh, Tabby Boy, look at that kitty. Oh, my goodness. You know, Mommy doesn't want you getting on that. So, yeah. Oh, look, I got my baby. Look, I got my baby. Oh, I love my kitty. Oh, I love my kitty, 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 kitty. Yes. Okay. Oh, I know what I'm going to show you guys. I try not to show mess as much as possible, but you know what? I'm going to show you some of my refrigerator magnets. You see my President Trump? And you see the 9/11 memorial thing? I think if I put some of these things here, I'll give you a closer look at this. I definitely got it from Ground Zero. As far as this goes, I got this from the Hotel Harrington gift shop. The Hotel Harrington is in Washington, D.C., on the corner of 11th and East Streets. And it is about 2 blocks away from Trump International Hotel. And it's also like 3 blocks away from Freedom Plaza in Washington, D.C., and about 7 blocks from about, 3-4 blocks away from the White House, and easy walking distance to my friend's house that I stay when I'm there. But another thing I wanted to show you is my mother's Dr. Fauci thing. She really likes Dr. Fauci. Oh, and I put the "you're fired," the Trump things. Oh, and this I cut out 4 years ago. And to answer this question, I'm not going to hold my breath. Yeah. Oh, in case anybody wanted to know, since there's growing information and propaganda telling some people that our lives don't matter. It's not true. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, and when you go out in public, please just do it. But you might need to double up, though. Now they're saying that the masks that we've been wearing, that most of you guys have been wearing, are not good enough. So just do yourself a favor and try to get some of those N95s. I wish Wish would hurry up and get back to me with the stack of 5 of these that I ordered. Now, these are probably almost useless, and these are I wear when I go into casinos. But I've been using these, putting these filters in that say PM 2.5. But I'm starting to think 2.5 is probably the worst of those filters, because I think that refers to the particle size, and that's 2.5 microns or something. And I believe that in order to have something that could actually filter out the virus, you need something that filters down to 0.03. So that's a heck of a lot of a difference, which explains why most of the masks that people are using are absolutely useless. And I forget which side of these you're supposed to put on, if it's the white side or the blue side. Oh, I guess this is the inside, because the fuzzy part for the nose, it's on here. But they say that these, you got to put them underneath other things. But this, do what my mother did and cut the edges of these to fix these when they start to break. The strings on them were totally falling down, and this was not doing me any good. They say if you have to adjust them, you're not supposed to touch them, but if they come down and they're uncovering your nose, you have no choice. I think I need to wash this. It's starting to smell funky. And that's the thing, is that the drool from your mouth and nose and the nose snots and everything, it gets in the inside and they smell bad. Exactly. And I still keep ordering them. When I go out places that are nice, I want to have something that's cute. And I got this also. Now this probably should be layered with something like this on top of, because this only has 2 layers, but you can put them. Of course, you have to be careful where you wear these. Casinos are safe. But now the thing is, I see people in this neighborhood wearing masks that say Black Lives Matters. I see masks that have the black fist, Black Lives Matter symbol. I see American flag themed face masks. I, generally speaking, just wear this around here because I find that I put my hair under a knit hat and then I put this on, and it gives me the anonymity when I'm going across the street or going to mail a letter or doing something. That way the bad people that know that I am not sympathetic to the crime that's going on around here, they don't get in my face. Because there is still a couple of weeks ago that guy that was calling me the white devil and being threatening and stuff, and I've been really still keeping a low profile. And it's funny with the drizzle and the bad the precipitation stuff is going outside. You got these people that are hanging out right underneath I guess because where this window is, it sticks out. And so people are standing there to not get rain on them. So meanwhile, they're doing their yerp drug dealing thing. So if you hear songs like that from outside, that's what's going on. Isn't this another nice flag? This is made of metal. Char, hey, how you doing? Good to see you, hon. This up. Let's see. I know there's something I wanted to show you guys. Oh, this is this is that thing I found out of the trash. Unfortunately, I didn't get the third drawer, but that said, I could zebra stripe on the inside so that it doesn't look as obvious. What these actually are is for jewelry, and since I love zebra stripes so much, but anyway, I picked it out of the trash. I was so mad that I thought that I found all these clothes in the trash. I started washing them, and I do wear children's sizes sometimes, but I think I misjudged, and the things I got were much more for babies than they were for, say, 10-year-olds. So they were too small for me. Oh, yeah. And I think I got like 20 things, and they were all so little. This I haven't tried on, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to get in the arms. So I'm going to show you a few of the things. And I'm going to show you some things that actually do fit. So, one of the things that I found which does fit is this little sweater here. And I think I'm going to wear this around Valentine's Day if I do any programming with that theme in it, which I'm probably not. But just in case, I haven't even checked to see what day that falls on. But anyway, I have it. And this thing here, I'm sure is too small. The thing is, I don't think I probably want to wear it anyway because it is made of wool, and wool makes me itch terribly. But if by any chance I could put it on and even wear it for 5 minutes just to take some pictures, one of the things I like about it is that it's got these little tiny gold sequins in it, and it's really sparkly. And yeah, there was this crackhead that got first dibs at looking at things, and so I had to back off and wait till she was done. What else? Oh, this was from the election where Mitt Romney was our Republican nominee. And every year, 7-Eleven usually has this election thing. But they didn't have it when Trump was running. They deliberately didn't have it, or I would have gotten the one with Trump. They just had the 7-Election that was Republican or Democrat. But anyway, I thought that this would be a cool collector's item. But Mitt Romney right now, his name is Mud. He is the worst kind of rhino. He voted in favor of impeachment. He said a whole lot of things against Trump. And pretty much, aside from him and Mitch McConnell, the only other Republicans that voted in favor of messing with Trump are Your newer ones are ones that I'm not that familiar with. This one lady, I forget her name, but anyway, they're all, I don't want to say they're dead in my eyes, but they're just, I definitely hope that they do not get reelected for their disloyalty. I think that you really do need party loyalty if you're going to have a reliable political system. And since we are, for right or wrong, we are a two-party system, the other parties just do not work. You can, if you haven't learned from our experiment with Ross Perot, you just siphons whenever you have third party candidates, especially for presidential election. All it does is siphon off votes from Democrats and Republicans, but usually more from the side that you do want to win. So what ends up happening is it just Ross Perot didn't win, but I don't remember even who ended up winning that year. But I believe that this was when I was still a libtard. So, but yeah, there's so many people are really upset, and they're thinking of having a party just for Trump. But I read articles from Bill O'Reilly and also from Dan Bongino talking about how dangerous that would be. That if you do that, then the only people that stand to benefit would be the Democrats. So, and that's definitely not the direction that I would vote, at least not for nationals. But what I want is Trump back, Trump in 2024. That's what I want, and that's what I think most of his supporters want. And I would be happy with his family members too, but that said, I don't know that anybody could hold a candle to the Donald. I mean, who else has his years of the business school and his years as a real estate developer and his years as a business person who has uh, created thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs? Oh, Cassie. Oh, my baby. Cassie. He's my baby. You my baby. My baby. You my baby. I got baby cat. I'm sorry. She distracts me. She's so cute. I look at her and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh. Hey, calm down. Oh, calm down. Oh. Hey, come on. Calm down, Cass. Oh, I love my little girl. I love my little girl. I love my little girl. Yes. So, hey, it's a wonder I still got my high heels on. I see you. I'm going to sit back down. So, yeah. If you got freedom, enjoy it while you got it. I'm really concerned about what we're going to do with this deplatforming of our voices. And I would like to join more of these other sites, but so many of them require two-step authentication by way of text messages sent to your cell phone. And that's not an option for me. So I don't know how I'm going to join them. And I tried to set up a profile on Gab a couple of days ago, and I think the servers are so overloaded that I could not get through. Because I was told that that was a site that did not require cell phones. So, okay, these are the shoes. I'm taking them off now because I've decided that they are finally bothering my toes. So, oh man, those crackheads are selling like crazy. What is it about? Is Tuesday night the new Saturday night around here or something? Is there some reason why there is so much drug slash gang slash ghetto activity? It's what, 8:11 p.m. And I don't know how hard the rain is coming down right now, but it is very active. Oh, I heard that this morning around 4 o'clock, when I actually was asleep, there was 5 police cars outside. That there is a 24-hour mini market not too far away, like very, very, very close. Like you could throw a rock at it probably if you had a good arm. And apparently the police were and the paramedics were there. They ended up taking out somebody in a stretcher. There is a real bad guy that's around here that sells crack and heroin and stuff, and he wears an orange hoodie, and that's the one they took out. And things that people are just out of control here. They're just, yeah. And I have been falling asleep literally at my computer with my makeup on, and I wake up or somebody wakes me up, and so I know to wash my face and put my skincare on and everything. I'm lucky to get 3 hours of sleep most days. So, yeah, because I'm trying to do everything on this one computer, and it's really hard to do. And I haven't gotten to do much on my day job, and I have so much editing to do. I keep on putting off. I don't want to do that, but it just I don't. I wish I had more hours in the day. And and then if something happens that I have to cook on top of it, um, a couple of days ago, I was really upset when my mother had asked my brother to go and get hot dogs. She got hot dog rolls along with some other bread that we'd gotten. And and myself, I prefer actually putting hot dogs on bagels. I don't really care for squishy bread anyway. But so what ended up happening is my brother decided to get pizza instead. And the thing is, pizza has cheese on it. I do not like cheese. I hate cheese. I don't eat pizza. The only way I'm ever going to eat pizza is if it's the kind that just has the tomato sauce and maybe anchovy paste, but the kind that does not have cheese on it. Anything with cheese, I don't eat. So, as a result, there was no food for me, and I was just so tired, did not have time to literally to spend an hour or two to cook. I did not have the time. All my life consists of this YouTube stuff, the filming, the editing, the show prep, getting dressed, cleaning ahead of time, taking everything off the wall so that I have a blank enough space for filming. So much preparatory work has to be done before I even go on film. Plus, if I'm not dressed and I don't have makeup on, I have to get dressed and put makeup on. And if it's really cold in the house, then I'm already bundled up, then I have to undress into something where I might very well be a little bit chilly uh, for filming. As luck would have it, there's actually enough heat on that I was able to wear something, bare my midriff and stuff, which of course is my preference. But a lot of times it is so physically uncomfortable here in my house, and we can't afford to have the heat turned up too high. So I mean, literally, many days I'm wearing 3 different shirts on, and the fleece lined pants that are kind of like I wear them as pajamas and stuff. And then when I go to bed, I'm under 2 blankets. So it gets really, really cold. But the house warmed up enough so that I was able to dress nice for the stream. So because I do care about how I present on camera and stuff. But when it's uncomfortable in the house, and yet I'm so used to it being so uncomfortable in the house that when I go to the casinos and things, and it's different temperature in different parts of the casinos. And then in the hotel rooms there, it's so nice and warm and toasty that I can't be that bundled up. So even though I may be cold in my house sometimes feels colder than it is outside. And it's ridiculous. You shouldn't have to wear outerwear inside. And there are times when I did have a little combination heater and a fan like 5, 6 years ago, but that burned out. And anyhow, you don't want to have heaters on too much blasted near electronics. So, yeah. So what are we going to do when we all get deplatformed? I mean, I don't know where I'm going to go. If I were to get kicked off of YouTube, I don't want to lose touch with the people that I've met on here, and the community that I would like to think that we are building. As I come to see the familiar faces, there's some people that I talk to here in these chat rooms that I have been friends with on other social media, going back from Google Plus on. Now there's Facebook and there's MeWe and others. But I want to make sure that any other places that I'm on, if we can try to find each other on all of our social media that we're on so that we don't lose touch, so that if we get deplatformed on one place, we can still keep this community going. I think that's one of the best things. See, my sinuses are going. I'm going to have to take a red pill soon. One of the great things about being a YouTuber is you get to create and build a community around so many like-minded interests. I know I'm in a community of the cat rescue, animal rescue people. I know I'm in the community of Trump supporters, the people that lean kind of on the right. I am on other communities too, communities of the cannabis enthusiasts. I'm in the community of organic gardeners. There's so many people that I feel a kinship with, the things that we all that bind us together. And for those of you who watch my videos that share in any of those interests, you don't have to like them all, but I would like to think that we have something here, and I don't want us to lose touch. And I don't know how I'm going to join those other sites that require the two-step authentication. They got to learn that not everybody can do these text messaging. They got to have other methods of people to get those things. And where that stupid cell phone is in here, it's got to be in this room somewhere, and I can't find it. Oh, man. Yeah. I need to take a red pill. You know, let's go in the kitchen. Because I am finding it harder to breathe, and it's going to I'm going to be better on camera if I can breathe. All right. Where's my baby? Where's my baby? You know what? I think they're these red pills. I think. So let's go. Okay. So I'm trying to find a safe place to sit. Storyfire? No. But this is where you get to tell me. Did you know that I welcome learning from people, especially if you guys got the scoop on something I'm not privy to? Oh, this is the pill I'm taking. These things, they're like generic Sudafed. It's little red pills. And I remember when Sudafed, people were buying Sudafed to use to make a version of speed, amphetamines. And that's why they started changing the formulation, or else make it so that you had to go behind the counter and get it from show ID in order to buy it and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna have some here. Hold this. I want to get my cup so I can get some tea. Okay, anyway, they stopped, they changed the formula because people were using Sudafeds to make speed. But then, I think because they changed the formula, people can't do that anymore. So I'm pretty sure they can't do that with these, or maybe they can, I don't know. I mean, not that I care because I don't do those things anymore, but I'm just saying that that's what people were doing. So, I've been clean since 2001, so I'll tell you, if I didn't have access to Sudafed to clear my sinuses, I'd really be screwed. Because that's the thing, is that we do have sinus issues. It is a family thing. And another thing that I don't get is they keep on adding to the symptoms of COVID-19. If you've ever gone to the entrances of any businesses, at least here in the casinos in Atlantic City, they have all these signs, all these symptoms of COVID-19 that I didn't know were symptoms, including diarrhea, different kinds of coughs, phlegm, blah, blah, blah. I mean, things that I wouldn't think had anything to do with it. So, anyway, some of the symptoms that I have with the nose and throat stuff, they're trying to say is could be a COVID symptom, but they always do temperature checks, and uh, they've never caught me having a fever. So I'm pretty sure I don't have it. I am trying to get the vaccine, and maybe I'll try the website. There's a website here, aclink.org, and that's resource to all kinds of information for Atlantic County, and it has everything from the animal shelter to just all kinds of information. Then there's supposed to be a toll-free number too, but then I keep on hearing that it's still hard to get through. That you can call. People tried calling like within 20 minutes of the thing opening up, and still told that their number 2,000 and something, and they only had 3 doses available or something. You know, and that's the thing, is that President Trump had all this vaccine, the whole distribution thing set up, and somebody screwed up, and it's just not right. Cassie. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to look at the screen, since I should be looking at what you guys are typing, and I apologize. I have not gotten close enough to it to read it. McJugger Nugget. I do know of this one company called Rumble. I believe Dan Bongino may have something to do with that. That is a competitor to YouTube. There is a video hosting company called BitChute. That is not SHOOT. That is BITCHUTE. I did set up an account with that, and I did upload 1 or 2 of my political videos to that. I am going to get my information back, because it's been so long since I tried going on now. I'm going to have to find out where I wrote down the password, and I'm going to start putting more of my political videos from here onto there also, so that in case I get kicked off of YouTube, I will have a BitChute presence. I'm going to start off with the political videos, and then after I put the political videos there, I'm going to put the cannabis videos on there. But now, a couple of live streams ago, one of my viewers told me about one of the cannabis uh, video hosting sites. I'm also going to get a presence on there, unless, of course, they don't allow me to join because of the two-step authentication cell phone crap. Any site that requires me to do something with the cell phone, I can't use. So, but as long as I can use it with the technology that I do have, I want to get on as many sites as possible, so that if I get kicked off of here for my big mouth and my First Amendment, and meanwhile I might end up having to assemble an email list like so many people do, so I have another method of contacting people. Oh, and speaking of that, I finally got back into my other email addresses. I have, in addition to the Hotmail address that some of you know about, I have a couple of a couple of Yahoo addresses. And you know how through the years you uh, lose passwords and you stop checking certain addresses. Well, I got contacted by Yahoo saying that if I didn't uh, get back into these accounts by the end of this month, I would be closed out of them completely. And I used to store pictures in my Yahoo accounts, in all the different ones, just so that if I lost uh, access to one, I would still get them from another. But anyway, I got back in all my old accounts, so I will have them, because apparently Hotmail has a storage limit, and I'm up to like 93% on my storage limit. And part of that is because I use that for all my spam. Some of the things that I do for my day jobs require me to sign up to get on all these mailing lists and get all this spam. And I never realized that I had a limit, and I could actually, and there's no way that I'm going to pay for an account with more storage. I'm not in a position where I can spend my money needlessly. Oh, I forgot to get sweetener. Where is? Oh no! Oh, that was. Oh, how did I not take this? Normally, I would soap and water wash anything that touched the ground. I would not normally do that. The fact that I actually put something that touched the ground in my mouth, but it was a pill, and you know what? Something tells me that I'm not going to die. I hope this kicks in soon and I can breathe, because I really having sinus issues really late. I'm going to add some more cranberry juice to my coffee, my tea. So, yeah, I'm going to see about getting a mailing address together, and I'm going to see if I can't find out how to collect mailing addresses so that I can occasionally send out something, even if it's once a month, just to let people know, like if I want to schedule certain things. I think that I want to start doing that. That's a growing trend toward people. And as long as I have it set up so that you can unsubscribe or something, because I think that's a law now. I want to make sure that I don't do anything to run afoul of any of the laws because they're getting stricter and stricter with YouTube. Just like the strike system that they're doing now, that if you talk about the election was stolen or something, that they can take the channel away. So if I have a mailing list, and I do have some of your mailing addresses, some of you that have been with me since I was on Google Plus, I have some of your um, email addresses. But and another thing I'm working on is I am working on a mail drop. I need a local mail drop so that people can write me things. There are a few of you that actually have my address, but obviously I can't just put it down. Ooh, 3-minute videos. See, Fauci missed most results are dead. Nucleotide remnant period. No, I'd heard something that Dr. Birx, she got thrown under the bus. Dr. Fauci is safe, but something happened to Dr. Birx. I didn't hear all of it. It was the tail end of the news. I think I woke up in the middle of it, or maybe I actually came back from the bathroom or something. But I do follow the news. I keep talk radio on all the time. And okay, I'm going to make sure. YouTube is trying to censor you, just so you know. Hislam, that latest thing that you tried to say, I don't know why YouTube seems to think that I want to hide or show things. I don't censor comments on my channel unless somebody is an enemy of mine and they are trying to say something that would hurt me in some way, like whatever. But other than that, no, I don't censor. Even if my Democrat friends come here and they want to call Trump names and stuff, I'm not going to censor. You have a right to say things. It's not like you're trying to actually destroy somebody, and I know that you're not doing that. So. I poured enough cold water in this tea so I'll be able to chug on it. Oh, I wanted to show off something. A friend of mine, who is also one of my subscribers, gave me a box of jewelry last week, and I didn't even realize it was in there at first. And a lot of the pieces are very similar and are from the same manufacturer, and I can't wait to wear them with more things. Now these earrings are actually part of what I got for Christmas from my mother. I'm really mad at myself. I stepped on them in a hotel room last week, but I didn't do any damage. I had to bend one of the prongs back so that I could stick it in my ear. But other than that, I didn't really do any damage. I'm going to definitely be writing down, taking notes on some of the comments that were made on this so that I can do something with the information when I'm not streaming. Cassie, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Oh, my baby. My pretty girl. My pretty girl. Oh, I love my Cassie. I love my Cassie. I love my Cassie girl. I love my Cassie girl. My baby. How's my tabby boy? He's at my tabby. I see my tabby boy. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Oh, come here. Oh, my baby. Oh, my baby, it's okay. I love my cat. Mm-hmm. My baby. My cat. I love my cat. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm. I love my baby. My baby. Mm. Mm. Here. Okay. So, okay. Yeah, voters are the moral minority who enable those who have you locked down. That's right. Now, I have been reading so many articles, everything I could think of about masks and about COVID and about all this contradictory information. And I don't understand why it is that some areas where they have been doing lockdowns and don't seem to be spreading the virus as badly as the ones that are doing it. And another thing, when they close down businesses early, say that you can't have the bars and clubs or whatever, so people end up going home and then they end up having the house parties in their houses, and that's how the things are getting spread. So the lockdowns, that's another way that the lockdowns are doing harm. And this whole thing that, why is it now? You guys know that I'm a showbiz person. I spent years in Los Angeles in the motion picture industry, and in doing television, doing theatrical things, stage things, dancing, modeling, all that stuff. Now, as much as I love the entertainment industry, uh, well, first of all, I really try not to put my mouth on uh, cats as much as I love them because I am a germaphobe. But as far as other men or other women or whatever, um, not everybody, monogamy doesn't work for everybody. And if people are going to be jealous because you have been with other people, then that seems to me, see, I can't treat people like property. I don't like to be treated like property myself. There are times in the past when I was doing everything that I thought society expected of me, but I felt like, why is it that my body is not my own, and which would mean that I am, in essence, the property of somebody else? And last I heard, slavery has been outlawed for a long time, and I cannot be owned by another human being. And so, yeah, if people are going to be jealous because of a person, oh, they might be with somebody else, or they may have been with other people, or oh my goodness. And I know that some of it is a cultural thing, that some men are, and women for that matter, uh, have an issue with their potential partners having been with other people, or maybe it's jealousy because they figure, well, this person is going to have certain knowledge, certain worldly knowledge. If they have been with other people, maybe that means they have been promiscuous, even though males don't seem to have a problem with that themselves, and yet there's a double standard. But I know that women can also be jealous of other women if they have been with other women or other men or whatever. It's not depending on gender. That jealousy is something that anybody can have issues with. Because I have been in the showbiz world and tend to be especially dating music people. And if you spend any kind of time with musicians, especially in the rock and roll scene, you expect them to be monogamous, especially if it's men involved. So you can't be jealous. If you go to crush on somebody in a rock band, uh, you're probably not trying to snort the flank of the most monogamous people in the world. So to be jealous is kind of ridiculous. So I got over my jealousy years ago. By the same token, I don't like being kept in a cage. I don't like being kept on a shelf. I know what it's like to be treated that way and have the attitude, well, I don't have time for you, but nobody else better get near you. That to me, this is why so many women are angry and uh, are mad at the patriarchy. And I just believe in equality, and I'm not into gender double standards. I do believe that people should be personally responsible. I believe that people should be clean and people should be safe. And I believe that people should protect themselves from all kinds of health things, whether it be protect yourself from COVID, protect yourself from STDs, HIV, AIDS, all that stuff. Just be responsible, love yourself enough to protect yourself, love yourself enough to be willing to set boundaries, say, I love myself, I honor myself, I want to protect myself, I want to keep myself safe. Please honor me and yourself by being safe. But that same token, uh, people being uncomfortable with the idea of people being with other people or having been with too many people in the past, or what is your number? Is your number too big? I'm glad nobody ever asked me my number. If I even know my number, I would never ask another person. It's not that I don't care about what a person did in their life. Maybe a person's past is none of my business. I don't believe that as much as people need to do due diligence and try to be as safe as possible, does that mean that you have the right to get up in somebody's private business? No, I don't think it is. There are questions I have never thought to ask people because I didn't think it was my business. And plus I figured if I'm going to ask questions about a person's past, it's going to imply that I'm jealous. That scares people off and turns them off real big time. Yeah. Well, the thing is that there are some people that will not stop breeding. And the sad thing is that the way it is now, certain cultures are much more productive than others. My culture, at least in America, the European white people, of which I am, we are not reproducing enough to reproduce our numbers. I think an average woman needs to have 2.1 children at least in order to reproduce. The birth rate is not enough for us to sustain ourselves. I'm going to say some things that I don't want people to think that they're racist things, but I have to say this. All colors are not reproducing at enough rates to reproduce the numbers to keep us the levels of our cultures, of our colors. White people are not having enough children with other white people. We are going to die off. And maybe, I don't know, 50, 100 years, just like redheads. Did you know that the red hair is the rarest color and that's caused by a recessive gene? And blondes also, there's a recessive gene. Most blondes you see, like I have to bleach my hair real white to bleach it, but I am a natural redhead. I'm sure you could tell with, okay, this lighting is really shitty, but my hair is red. uh, but the blondes and the redheads, we're dying off. White people, because we are not and in the most industrialized countries, the countries where the people are most highly educated, people are putting off children. Many people are choosing not to have children, or they haven't found love. Maybe they're like me. They decide, well, we're going to wait for love before trying to have children. Or we're going to wait for economic stability, financial security before thinking about starting a family, which is the way I was raised. Get your financial affairs in order. Have a place to live. Have employment. Have stability to bring before you bring a child in the world. That's how I was raised. I don't think that's a bad thing. But waiting for love, which may or may not happen, and but white people are not reproducing ourselves enough to keep white people going. And most of the other colors, you guys, they are reproducing more. Think of how many children some cultures have, and depending on what your religion is, that has something to do with too. Like, okay, take Catholics. Catholics, especially if they um, believe the church teaching about not using any kind of artificial birth control, they can have 10 or more children. And think of the religions where you could have more than one wife. If a man has 4 wives and each wife has 10 kids, that man had 40 children. And those don't tend to happen in America. And there's not a whole lot of white people doing that unless you get a polygamous Mormon white guy that has 4 wives and each of them have 10 kids. But that doesn't happen a whole lot. Okay. So here in America, first of all, if you take all races and colors out of it, America, as a result, we are not. Yes, Warren Jeffs. Oh, thank you. You know who I was talking about. Now, I got to mention this. For a while there, we were getting mail from the very offshoot of the LDS Church that Warren Jeffs was a part of. I forget what the name of it, but I know somewhere here I have the envelopes. And it was really interesting stuff. There was letters addressed just to Warren Jeffs' followers. And I was actually, this was just before I started on YouTube, and I was actually afraid to read the letters because I was afraid that I would get in trouble with the organization and end up getting a bunch of enemies. And I can't afford a security detail. I'm not going to do something that's going to get me in trouble like that. But I did think about it. My sinuses are really getting bad. Please excuse me. Uh, I got to get more tissue. Pardon me. Damn sinuses. I hope that pill kicks in soon. So anyway, yeah, because we are not reproducing ourselves, um, we are going to die out. And okay, look at Japan. The society is getting older. It's a very highly industrialized society. More and more women are putting off child birth completely. A lot of them aren't even bothered getting married. They're very educated, very high standard of living. Rents are through the roof. It's very hard to find homeless people in Japan. They have stricter immigration controls. Very, very advanced society. And their society is getting older, just like most Americans' society is getting older. Their birth rate is quite low. Um, there are less workers that are available to work to support their elders. Yeah. Now, China, from what I understand, they used to have the one child only system that they actually did forced sterilizations and forced birth control. Very, very stringent communist rule. I can only imagine. I'm getting actually a lot of my information about China. There's a really wonderful newspaper. I'm sure you heard of it called the Epoch Times. I used to get it free whenever I would visit New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., when I lived in Los Angeles. Starting not this past August, but the August before that, August of 2019, I started seeing signs in Washington, D.C. saying that they were no longer going to be giving out the free papers in the newspaper boxes, but it was subscription only. But it's a shame that you can't get it free as easily as you could have. But it's a really, really great, unbiased paper. They were always fair in their coverage of Donald Trump. They are anti communist. This is very important. and they have reporters all over the world, but they actually have been persecuted in China, and they have had um, people go into their offices in China with try to burn the printing presses and everything. So, but if you have a chance to read Epic Times, it is a really wonderful paper. One of the email lists that I get, that I don't know that it is anti-communist though, but it's a company called Inkstone, and every day I can read all kinds of human interest stories about China. And since China is a very, very large world power, and since we've been having so many problems with China, that unfortunately, since we've got Dementia Joe in, him with Hunter Biden, that is so beholden to China to the tune of what, 50 some $million, and between China and Russia, of course. And of course, we're probably not supposed to talk about that here on YouTube. But yeah, we've got all these things to worry about, and the corruption, and the thing is, China, if you didn't know already, China owns so much property here in the United States, and we start defaulting on our loans. Think of, China owns a lot of our entertainment companies now. It is really scary when you think about the control that one of our enemies has on us. And with the Democrats in control now, the taxes raising, with the immigration will be unchecked. Will be unchecked. It's really, this is going to be a scary 4 years, um, and with the deplatforming of certain voices, I can only hope that we get through this okay. We survived 8 years of Obama, uh, but the stakes seem so much higher now. It really is scary, and yeah, I don't know how we're going to get through this. I don't know what we're going to do, but if you are a freedom-loving person and you care about being able to speak your mind, if you care about not having big tech keep you from just being able to talk about your life, give your opinions. It used to be we could give our opinions, the world looked up to us. Now we've got world leaders, even ones that didn't necessarily love President Trump, that have spoken in protest of what Twitter is doing, uh, telling Mike Lindell of My Pillow that he no longer has a voice on there, telling Donald J. Trump that he can't communicate on there. And all these companies that are joining in, ganging up on private citizens, uh, deciding that, well, you're a competitor to Twitter, you're a competitor to Facebook, you're a competitor to these other social networks. We're going to make sure that you don't have servers. We're going to make sure that you don't have suppliers. This is an ongoing, deliberate attempt to silence people. You're going to come after the big guys, the powerful guys first. Then they're going to come after little guys like me. Then they're going to come after little guys like you. And this is not America. This is basically a fascist state. Those of you that voted for the Democrats, this is what you got. And I wasn't going to talk about this today. I was not going to live stream. I was just going to give you something in the can. But when I heard about Mike Lindell, nah, that isn't right. These aren't my pillows, but I think I am going to end up getting one to support his company. It probably won't be this year because I'm not flush, but I really want to do something to help him and his company out. And I'm going to explore the idea of the marketing, the the affiliate links and stuff. I'm going to learn about that some more. And if I can find a way to make it fit in with what I'm doing with this channel, I mean, I'm not talking about housewares, obviously, so I don't know how it would fit. But if I can find a way to make it work and still harmonize with what I'm doing, I might pursue that. I'm also going to produce, explore other methods of providing content, including maybe some of those sites like Patreon or whatever, just to give me. I don't want to add to the workload that I'm doing, but it looks like that is the future, and I really need to find a way to support myself better. Plus, in the case of the event that voices like mine do get deplatformed, if I need to find other places to be, I'm going to possibly need the means to do so. I don't know, but I don't want to lose my voice on here. I don't want to lose the community that I'm trying to build. I don't want to lose my friendships, even though this political fighting is not helping. But yeah, I hope that we find more places that we can go so that we can be safe, so that we can speak freely. And as I get more ideas, I will definitely be keeping everybody posted here, and I will let you know where I am going to be elsewhere in cyberspace. And there's other accounts that I have not been on in many, many months because I've just simply forgotten my login information. But if they're not total wastelands, I will probably try to get back to them. And anyway, I will keep your eyes posted. It is now 8:59 p.m. I've been doing this now for 2 hours and 19 and a half minutes. And I think I'm going to go and have some dinner and stuff. I was trying to scrounge around for some marijuana, and I'm totally out, and that kind of sucks that, and it seems to be the only people around here locally. They all smoking in blunts, and I can't deal with tobacco. I just can't tolerate it. And whenever people put them in a blunt wrapper, I can't feel it anyway because I think tobacco keeps me from feeling it. So I'm going to if I can speak, I'm going to bid you guys a good night. For those of you who love our flag, love our country, all is not lost, but we have to think about our freedoms. We have to think about the First Amendment and those who would take that away from us. I don't want to lose my voice. I don't think that's right. And if you believe in freedom, please keep me in mind. A couple of days, I'll be on again and tune in again. And I don't know what the subject's going to be, but hopefully somebody will like it. Until then, please take care. Don't get COVID. Don't let people take your freedoms away. And I will talk to you in a couple of days. So take care. Bye.